If you'd like to try your hand at hand sharpening engravers, I'll show you a method that I used for, probably the first 15 or 16 years that I was a hand engraver. I start with one of these Easy Lap diamond, hone, and stones, and this is on a red plastic handle, and the one I'm using is a fine, and they come in coarse, medium, and fine. And you can see it's just a small diamond impregnated plate on the plastic handle. The graver that I'm going to sharpen is a pre-shaped 120 degree graver from GRS. And I'm a 120 guy. I really like the 120 degree graver, so I'll use one of these pre-shaped 120s, and we'll put a face and heel on it. This technique that I'm going to show you works just as well with square gravers or pre-shaped 120s or pre-shaped 105s or pre-shaped any graver, really. To start with, we'll sharpen the face, and I hold the graver like this. Hold it like this, and then I'll just brace the little diamond hone on the top of my engraving vise, and I'll just sweep this across the hone to sharpen the face of the graver. Now, if you want a higher angle, you would raise your hand. If you want a lower angle, you would lower your hand. And this is where some unknowns come in, because when you hand sharpen like this, you don't know whether you're at 45 degrees or 40 or 55. So there is a little bit of guesswork, some trial and error, but you will get to the point where you can pretty much judge how much lift to give the face of the graver when you're sharpening it. Let's check it out and see how it looks. Yep, looks fine. What I'm making sure that it's not tilted one way or the other, and if it is, I'll stone it again and make a correction, but actually that looks pretty good. So let's do the heel now. For the heel, I'll use a white ceramic stone. This was actually a sample I picked up at a gun show, I don't know, probably 25 years ago. And it's got brown ceramic on one side, which is a coarse, and it's got white ceramic on the other side, which is fine. So I'll use the fine side and a piece of 3/32 inch Momax Cobalt, and I used to buy these from Brownells. I used to make my gravers out of these years ago. And this is a 4-inch piece, and what I've done is I've rounded and polished the corners on this little piece of tool steel here so that they're nice and smooth, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down with my thumb on my left hand. I'm going to hold it down on the ceramic, and then I'm going to rest my graver on it. You want to rest it just so that it's nice and flat against this tool steel. You extend it out, about that far, and then sweep it across the stone. And then do the other side. And there's our heel. It's looking pretty good. Let's stone it just a little bit more. Obviously, the closer you get to the tool steel guide, the higher the angle you're going to have. The farther away you go, the lower the angle. And I sharpen mine out, about this far, which is probably pretty close to a 15 degrees of lift. Let's see what we have here. It looks better on one side than it does the other. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now this is never going to be as accurate as sharpening with a sharpening fixture, but it's not bad, and you can get pretty good at it. So there you go, a quick course in hand sharpening a 120 degree graver. If you absolutely cannot afford to buy a sharpening fixture, This is an option for you. This is a way to sharpen your gravers. But I would absolutely encourage you to use a sharpening fixture, because the repeatability and the accuracy is far better than what you're going to get sharpening by hand.